Welcome to Tech Talk by Vikas Thakur. We will be deep diving in the latest AI research.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It seems like everywhere you turn these days, folks are talking about AI, what it can do, what it can't do, and what it might mean for, well, everything.
It's definitely a hot topic, that's for sure.
So today, we're doing a deep dive on one of those big questions that's really got people fired up. Can AI actually be creative?
Right. Is that something AI can even do?
And we're not just going to speculate, we're digging into a fascinating research study out of the University of Strasbourg.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how they went about this.
Exactly. Researchers Maltese, Pierre Pelletier, and Guichardaz set out to see if they could pit humans against AI in the ultimate imagination face-off. Who would come out on top?
Yeah, they didn't just want to ask people's opinions. They actually had humans and AI tackle the same creative tasks and then had independent judges evaluate their results.
And they didn't stop there. They also used some really interesting objective measures to assess the creative output, things like originality, how well the instructions were followed, how elaborate the ideas were, how feasible they were.
Right, like, did this idea even make sense? Could you actually do it?
Exactly. They even analyzed things like how well different themes were combined. Like, for example, did the AI just mash up castles and dragons, or was there something more unique going on there?
It's really impressive the lengths they went to really try and quantify creativity, because it can be so subjective, right? So they wanted to cover all the bases, and they tested 3 very different types of creative tasks, which I thought was really important, because creativity isn't one size fits all.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's jump into it. First up, they had the AI try its algorithms at wordsmithing.
Right. So in this first task, both the humans and the AI were given a list of 10 words. And these words were all related to medieval architecture, things like walls, bricks, towers, that sort of thing.
Okay, so pretty specific.
Yes. And they were asked to use all 10 words to write a story.
Interesting. So did the AI end up writing some kind of epic medieval fantasy novel?
Well, not quite a novel. But here's the thing. The AI actually outperformed the humans in some ways on this writing task.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me the robots are already better storytellers than we are?
Now, hold your horses. It's not quite time to surrender to our AI overlords. It's actually a little more complicated than that.
Oh, I knew there had to be a catch.
So the researchers actually tested 2 different types of AI. They had what they called a naive AI, which is basically given very simple instructions. Here are the words, write a story.
Makes sense.
And then they also had an expert AI, which was specifically instructed to be super creative. And here's where things get really interesting sometimes. The expert AI actually did worse than the naive AI.
Wow. Okay, now that is fascinating. So the expert AI, with all its algorithms and data, gets tripped up by trying to be too creative. How is that even possible?
Right. It's remarkable, isn't it? The researchers actually observed something they call the fixation effect in the expert AI.
A fixation effect. What's that?
So it seems that the AI got so focused on following those specific instructions, on using all 10 of those very specific medieval words, that it actually ended up limiting its own creative potential.
Ah, so instead of thinking outside the box, it got stuck inside a very elaborate, very medieval box.
Exactly. It's like, how sometimes when you're trying too hard to be creative, you can kind of get stuck in a rut. You keep coming back to the same ideas.
Yeah, for sure. I get that.
It's like that. The AI fell into a pattern of repeating similar themes, and it missed out on some of those more unique and surprising connections that the naive AI and even some of the humans were able to make.
Okay, so the AI had some interesting quirks with its medieval wordplay, but the researchers didn't stop there, did they?
No, they didn't. They wanted to see how the AI would handle a different kind of creative challenge, something a little more visual.
Right, the alternative uses task. What was it like seeing an AI try to find new uses for everyday objects?
It was pretty amazing, actually. Remember how the AI sometimes struggled with that fixation effect in the writing task? Well, that didn't seem to be an issue here. In fact, the AI consistently outperformed the humans in the alternative uses task.
Really? So no creative blocks this time. What made the difference?
Well, it seems like the open-ended nature of the task really played to the AI's strengths. You could draw on this massive database of knowledge to make connections between objects and their potential uses, connections that humans might not even consider.
So it's almost like having a walking, talking encyclopedia that can also brainstorm on the fly.
Exactly. It was fascinating to see.
Okay, so the AI is a master of wordsmithing. It can find creative uses for anything. But can it draw? What about that alien drawing challenge? Did the AI manage to outdoodle us humans?
All right, so for this task, things got really interesting. The researchers actually paired the expert AI with an image generation tool.
Oh, so we're talking about AI actually creating images, not just describing them.
Exactly. And the results were, well, they were impressive.
Okay, enough suspense. Did the AI become the next Picasso?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. But the expert AI did score really high on both originality and what the researchers called technical skill.
Technical skill. What does that even mean in this context? Like, my stick figure aliens wouldn't have made the cut, right?
No, I think your stick figures are safe for now. But basically, it means that the AI didn't just come up with wacky alien designs. It
Yeah.
actually drew them well, with a level of detail and, how should I put it, artistry. That was pretty remarkable. Like something you might see in a concept art book. And this wasn't just one lucky alien. This was consistent across the board.
Wow, so the AI was able to both imagine and illustrate. That's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. It makes you wonder what else AI will be capable of in the near future. It really makes you think, where do we go from here? I mean, is this the end of art as we know it?
Well, I wouldn't say it's the end, but it's definitely a new chapter.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
one thing that struck me about the study was that they used student evaluators to judge the creative output.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. What if they'd used, like, experienced artists and designers and writers?
Right. Like, would they have been just as impressed with the AI's creations? Or would they have maybe picked up on some things, some nuances that the students didn't?
It's definitely something to consider. Would experts be more discerning? That's possible. I mean, they have a lot more experience to draw on, right?
Definitely. Well, this whole conversation has been so thought-provoking. It seems like AI and creativity is a story that's just beginning to unfold.
I think that's a great way to put it. It is a story. And like with any good story, there are a lot of different ways it could go.
It's exciting. And maybe a little bit daunting at the same time.
Absolutely. I think that's the perfect way to describe it.
Yeah.
It's exciting because AI has this incredible potential to enhance our creativity in ways we can only imagine right now. But it's also a little bit daunting because, makes you wonder, what does it mean to be creative in a world where AI can generate ideas, write stories, even draw aliens? It's a big question.
It is a big question, and one that doesn't have easy answers, but I think that's also what makes it so fascinating to explore.
Exactly.
Well, you heard it here, folks. The robots aren't taking over the art world just yet, but they're certainly making their presence known.
That's for sure.
That wraps up our deep dive on AI and creativity for today. Big thanks to our expert for joining us and shedding light on this fascinating research, and a huge thanks to all of you for listening in and flexing those creativity muscles with us.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying, folks. Whether you're a human, an AI, or something in between, there's always something new to discover. See you next time.